you know, who doesn't love Christmas? Just keep the love and the celebration going, in my opinion. The Chosen is about the Bible. It's about Jesus. So that's a great place, I believe, to start. I think everyone needs to watch it, honestly. I talk a lot. I need water. Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a sit down video with me just talking from the heart about how I feel about the new year, my plans for the new year. So grab your tea, grab your coffee, and we'll dive right in. So if you're wondering what I'm sipping on, I have some detox tea with a fizz stick in it from Arbonne. My husband and I went on a date last night. We ate really good food. And I had my coffee this morning. Usually I have 2 cups of coffee a day right now. But if it makes you feel better, I get the half caffeinated Keurig cups. And then I have one and then I have another. So it's technically like 1 cup of caffeine a day. I don't know, it makes me feel better. But instead of doing that today, I was like, I think I need a detox tea. So we are well into January, but I did want to do a little Christmas recap. So our Christmas was great. I had the best time the whole weekend of Christmas, from hanging out with family to going to a Frost Fest in our, town, to hanging out with friends, being around a bonfire, singing Happy Birthday to Jesus with my daughter, which is kind of a new yearly tradition that we've started. This year, Jesus got chocolate cupcakes with chocolate frosting. Last year, he got a strawberry cake, but we did find out that my daughter kind of has like a little food allergy to strawberries. Anytime she has anything with strawberries in it, whether it's like fake strawberry, like a candy or something, to real strawberries, she breaks out right under her lip. So Jesus loves chocolate too though, so it's all good. I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. I hope you had a safe New Year. For New Year's, the kids and I, and my husband actually, were in bed by like 9:30 and fast asleep when the new year came. So that's what happens when you have kids. But in my opinion, we were safe in bed. We were all together and we're all healthy and happy. And I thought it was a beautiful new year. And I woke up feeling, rejuvenated and ready to go. This year went by so fast for me. I don't know if it went fast for you guys. It flew by, working full time and then trying to soak in time with my daughter before our son made his way into the world, and then having a newborn, and days and nights become a blur. So Christmas came, Christmas went, New Year's was here, and I kept seeing things about New Year's resolutions and, who you want to be in the new year and what you want to change from last year and all of the things. So when January 1st hit, honestly, I was like, I haven't even thought about my New Year's resolution. I haven't thought about anything. I don't have any resolutions. I can't believe it's the new year. In the past, I was that person who made a vision board, who had all my goals written out, who was, super excited and gung-ho. But in hindsight, you guys, I don't think that those things are always realistic. When I look back on my vision board from last year, it was a big poster board. I had things from where I wanted to travel, the new car I wanted to be driving, how much I wanted in my savings, my ideal body, just so many things that weren't quite realistic. Like the time and money it would have taken to travel to all those places while my husband and I worked full time and I was pregnant and had a toddler. The body, it's like, whatever, just so many things that were just so superficial. And I feel like my heart and my mind, and I've really worked on transitioning over this past year to what really matters in life. I wanted to share you guys some of the things that I came up with when I really sat back and thought about it. So I have my phone, I have some bullet points. So first things first is Jesus time. What does this look like? How can I add more Jesus into my day? How can I learn about him more? How can I dive into the word more? If this is something that you feel the same, you're like, I need to spend more time with Jesus. Looking back, I didn't pray enough. I didn't read my Bible enough. I didn't engage in conversations about the Lord enough. Then you're right there with me. I found myself praying randomly throughout the year. Prayer's always been something I've done since I was little, but I'm trying to be very intentional about my Jesus time and about how much of a priority he needs to be. I got a book from the Daily Grace Co. called Daughters of Grace, which is teaching me about the women of the Bible, which is so special to me. And then my husband and I actually just started the series called The Chosen. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about it. If you haven't started it or you've been resistant to start it, it's so good. And we literally just finished season 1, episode 3 this morning, and I'm just like soaking it in. But the beautiful thing about it is when they're talking about or people in the Bible, I've already been able to be like, I know who she is, or I know what happened. Another cool thing about it is that one of the books that I had read, Vienna, recently about Christmas and Jesus and that time of year was literally the exact story, because it's based on the Bible. And Vienna knew about it. She was like, Mom, like, she's gonna bring her friends the next day to see Jesus and stuff. So it was like, that just like touched my heart, because our kids are always listening, and she remembered the story, and then she was listening to the show as my husband and I watched it, and she was like, oh, I know this. The Chosen is about the Bible. It's about Jesus. So that's a great place, I believe, to start. I think everyone needs to watch it, honestly. My intention is to fear the Lord and not people. And what do I mean by that? I know in my heart that Jesus has a plan for my life. I know that he's constantly working. I know that he's closing doors and opening doors and transitioning me and my heart to be ready for new chapters in my life. I know that he is working on me being a better wife, a better mother, a better person overall, a better friend. I don't fear the Lord and I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna do something wrong, because I already know that I've been forgiven, and we all have. But I fear the Lord in the sense that I do not want to think about, to the best of my ability, and this is something I am praying about as well, I do not want to think about what people think about me. I do not want that to freeze me in life anymore. I do not want that to cause me to make changes in my life because I think it'll better fit into someone else's life. I want to be led down a path that the Lord has led up for me and for my family. And I need that to be what my life is based on. I'm not fearing what people say anymore. I'm not fearing what people may think about me, or the way I dress, or the way I talk, or I'm just too much of a certain way for people. That's okay, because if I know in my heart that I am doing the right thing and I am following the path that Jesus has for me, and I'm trying to the best of my ability to be better in all aspects of my life, then why would I care what another human being says about me? And what does Jesus think, and what does that person think? And who do I want to follow? Okay, so the second thing is creating healthy boundaries. I truly believe that all of us have an idea of what triggers us, of what bothers us, of people who may not make us feel good inside. Create those healthy boundaries this year. If you have family members, or if you even have friends, you can love them from afar and limit your time with them if they do not make you feel good inside. We need to love people for who they are, and love them through the season that they're in, because they could just be in a negative place in their life and they need the encouragement and the positivity from you to get out of that place. But if you feel like when you hang out with them, you go home and you feel really negative, you have a lot of self-doubt, they trigger something inside of you, maybe they like to bring up your past a lot, or talk about topics that just don't sit well with you, limit your time with them. You can love them from afar, and I truly believe that. Love people as they are, give them the best version of you, but don't let them take that best version of you away. So I have had to do that in my life, where I truly love people that I can't hang out with a lot, because I know that their life isn't necessarily the life that I want for me and my family. But maybe there's someone who just constantly says things that you wish you could cover your children's ears, or even your own ears from, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I'm not comfortable with this. Limit your time with them and pray for them. People can change, their hearts can change, they can definitely change the way that they talk. And this goes along with social media. So I will be honest when I say that Instagram is a huge trigger for me. And I've had this conversation with a couple of my good girlfriends who say the same exact thing. I will go on Instagram, and I have recently gone and unfollowed quite a few accounts. Honestly, to the point where Instagram blocked me out of my account for a while, and they almost deleted my account because they thought I was like, they thought somebody broke into my account. I didn't know my password. I couldn't get back in. It was this whole thing. I unfollowed so many accounts, not because I didn't like the person or I didn't like the account, but it triggered me. For me personally, I want to see people flourishing with their families. I want to see positivity. I I want to see people who encourage me to be better. When you flood your feed with negativity or like things that just are of this world and again, not of God, you cloud your mind with that and you start to think those things. So if it's something that I have felt has triggered me, or if I felt that like, hey, I'm comparing myself to this person now, I don't want it. I don't want to feel those things. If I'm going to spend my time on Instagram or social media, I want to feel like, hey, I got something good out of it and I'm taking something positive away from it. Because there has been way too many times where I have just closed that app and I haven't felt good. All of the noise and all of the clutter that we fill our minds with, you guys, if it triggers you in any type of way, unfollow them. It's not anything personal against that account or those people, but you need to protect your energy, and what better time than now? The third thing is pouring into my marriage. If you're married, this may seem like common sense, or if you're not married, I feel like you may think like, well, no duh, you married them. Of course, like you pour into them. But you guys, being intentional about pouring into your marriage, praying for your husband, praying for their career. If say that they're in a negative mindset and they're not doing good, or like they have negative self-talk, like body image, men can have that as well. Praying for them, praying for their peace of mind in any type of way is pouring into your husband. For me, physical touch was never something that I like, wasn't really my love language. It more is now, which is kind of funny. I feel like your love language changes over time. But for the longest time, my husband's love language was physical touch, and I had to intentionally go up to him and think about like, okay, hugging him more, holding his hand more, rubbing his back as I walk by him. Those little things make such a difference. So other than physical touch now, because I feel like I feel that as well, maybe because I'm constantly like overstimulated by like my kids touching me all day and stuff, but sometimes like I just want my husband to embrace me and to hold me. Pouring into my marriage in general, date night. We went on a date last night and it's so nice. And maybe you can't do this every week. Maybe you work a lot and it's hard to be pulled away from your kids more than you already are. But my husband and I were talking about it on the way home, because we went to dinner about like 45 minutes away, and you know, it took time to drive there, it takes time to drive back, and we were like, we need to make this a priority. Whether it's, you know, 1 o'clock in the afternoon and we're like, hey, they're going to Gammy and Papa's house, we're gonna go to Taco Bell, and then we're gonna come home and watch an episode of our favorite show together. It doesn't have to be this elaborate, we go to a fancy restaurant. Taco Bell on a Saturday sounds amazing. Those times, you guys, where you are not interrupted and you can just focus on the conversation and focus on the things that are on your heart. There needs to be time for that. And if you don't ever make time for that, we have been so guilty of this in the past. Honestly, it's just now that we see like the importance of it, because after I had my daughter, we didn't go on a date for the longest time. But I have realized your household is only going to be as healthy and happy and joyous as your marriage is. So that is definitely something I'm focusing on in 2023, is praying for my husband, pouring into my marriage, and as many dates as we can go on as possible. So the fourth thing is activities for joy and not money. Okay, we live in a crazy expensive world right now. I will say that, like, it honestly disgusts me how much groceries, gas, all the things are. But I have been guilty of this, where I will find something that I find great pleasure in, and then I'm like, oh, I could make money from it. And there's nothing wrong with this, you guys, but this is just where I have found that I haven't done a lot of things for joy. I have done a lot of things that found me joy, and then I converted it into making money, but then it wasn't as joyous, and I wasn't spending my time doing activities for fun. I made myself so busy that I didn't have time to hike. I didn't have time to work out. I didn't have time to read my books. I felt my time with money producing activities, and money is not everything. Find things that you truly love and just have fun with it. Go on a hike with your friends, like go to a paint night, like do things that are just for fun. So this leads me to number 5, which is spending money with purpose. I have recently, in the new year, gone on a decluttering rampage along with my husband. He's completely like decluttered our garage. It looks amazing. It was horrendous for a second there. I have been taking care of the inside. I've gotten rid of so much stuff, donated so many things, sold so many things. And I realized that if it does not bring me joy, if it's not something that we use on a regular basis, I don't want it. I don't want it. I got rid of so many things in Vienna's room, and I was like, oh, you know, like, I know she loves all her stuff and she takes such good care of all of her things, and it's made me want to hold on to those things in the past. My daughter walked into her room the other day and was like, Mom, my room is so clean. Like, thank you so much for cleaning it, because I got rid of so much stuff. I was like, what does she use on a regular basis? What do I know that she really loves? What does she not need? And I donated all those things. I've learned that, okay, this is my job as a parent, is to declutter her life, declutter her little mind, and allow her to find joy in her toys and to play with what she has. I have, even if I really like something in my house, it's just something sitting there that's just another thing that I constantly have to clean up. I don't need it. And so I have learned to declutter, and when I spend my money, be intentional about what I want in my home and what I'm bringing into my home. So I truly encourage you guys to do that. There's so many YouTube videos on this topic that are so inspiring. Even turning on one of those and hearing them in the background as you declutter and clean through your home will help you so much. You go to the places you like to shop, think about, what do I really want in my home? Am I just throwing my money away by buying this? With all of that being said, give yourself grace in 2023. Give yourself grace in those times that are hard, in those times that you're going through something and you're not the, you know, exact person you want to be. But these topics, you guys, are more of things that I have felt that I could change within myself, that are not superficial, I guess you can say, and are things that I know will bring me joy and peace and just like fill my heart with so much love. That's what I'm trying to focus on in this year and with this video. If you guys have anything to add, I'd love to hear all about it. But I hope you guys have the best year. I will see you guys in the next video. But thank you so much for watching.